They say that writing the first sentence of your novel should be the most important task of the writing process. People often repeat this because the average consumer judges a book not by its cover, but by that tricky introduction. Judgments lead to a purchase of the book, and profit supposedly equals success. But let's cut the crap for a second. If your goal isn't to profit, but to create art that you actually like, then the beginning isn't that much more important than the rest, is it? In fact, one could say that the piece that makes or breaks your art should now become the ending, or in the case of today's topic, several endings. Fatum Betula is the topic of this video, as well as a title that I refuse to pronounce any other way. The game begins by staring at a stretch of darkness until this thing shows up. You're given some vials and told to feed the roots of the fate birch, or as I like to call it, the tree of life, with whatever liquid you can find in the bleak world around you. Along your adventure, you will meet a variety of creatures, and while you may feel some attachment, none of their interactions matter in the end. They are all simply a means to discover different endings to the game. Take for example the starving cat wizard. You can kill them in a variety of ways, yielding in either their blood or a poison blood mixture, or you can just feed the poor thing, resulting in a cauldron of oil as a gift. By scooping up these liquids in your vials and using them to sustain the tree of life, endings are earned. Many of these endings resemble that of a low-budget short film dreamt up by a bored college student. This assessment is not to discredit the endings, but come on, bro recorded a dead frog and called it a day. One ending in particular has lived rent-free in my head for about half a year now. By clipping through the ground in an intentionally unfinished spot, the player may meet the game developer in the form of a liquid spinning cube. He tells us that he made the game because he was inspired by his exploration of the real world around him. By collecting him in a vial and returning it to the Tree of Life, this happens.
Alright, hey. I'm the developer of the game.
From this clip alone, the author's secret is revealed. The hidden aspect of this game he kept from us all this time finally comes into view. He takes none of this seriously. One may reflect on this revelation negatively. After all, many of the best games are taken seriously by their creators. But the way I see it, Fatum Betula was meant to be a different kind of experience. Think back on what the developer has told us in-game. He wanted us to feel as he felt while exploring the world around him. Does one usually take the exploration of the outdoors seriously? As an adult, yes, I'll give you that. But as a child learning the ropes of nature, going outside is simply a matter of messing around and seeing what happens. By giving the player many possible endings, playing the game really does make you feel like you're a small, foolish creature in a sandbox much larger than you could ever hope to comprehend. This, I believe the developer did very intentionally, perhaps simply to pepper in a hint of Lovecraftian horror to his work. This nod to Lovecraft's fiction would not stand alone, as many of the designs, concepts, and dialogues in Fatum Betula resemble a Lovecraftian story. Common examples include monsters with more knowledge and power than the protagonist, constant references to eternal life in a negative context, and talk about suffering and regrets. Indeed, the game contains very little joy save for the joy of exploration. Most characters you come across are miserable. Some are starving, others want their lives to end, and others still are cursed with an inability to open wooden doors. Sure, you may help them, but the alterations you make to the Tree of Life in the end is what truly determines their fate. Upon altering the sustenance that the tree consumes, you will hear a noise and see an immediate cut to a loading screen. The sudden noise and cut to void vividly creates a feeling as though you've put a large action into play and now must suffer the awaiting of your consequence. Mind you that the consequence is not what you must suffer, but the anticipation of it. Many characters in the game would agree that the change of the very fabric of the universe is not nearly as unbearable as waiting in a state of no change at all. The creature in the beginning of the game could sense this. It knew that the universe was in a state of distress, a state of repetition, and it gave you the life-altering vials so that you alone could heal the world of its infection. Boredom. I believe that this game was bred out of boredom, is about boredom, and strives to alleviate boredom. With all of this said, did it do a good job of this? As I ponder this question, my mind is pulled back to when I first played this game half a year ago with my sister Christina. The link to her channel will be in the description. In truth, I cannot remember much of our experience with the game. I do, however, remember the roaring laughter, stupid inside jokes, and good times that we had playing it. So yes, Fatum Betula absolutely cured our boredom for a time, despite my sister and I having wildly different tastes in video games. And that's part of what's so great about Fatum Betula. It appeals to intellectuals, as well as to the players who just want to have fun. It's almost a sort of satire on philosophy. It makes a mockery of many of the concepts that it at first held at a high standard. One may think at the moment of receiving the vials that the concept is deep above all else. But after turning everyone in the universe into a Halloween costume, the concept seems rather silly all of a sudden, doesn't it? Fatum Betula has an ending for just about everyone, as they vary wildly depending on their actions. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, go ahead and get the game. It's cheap, fun, and I promise I didn't even spoil half of the endings that it has in store for you. Hey, it's me, Cole, the creator of the video you just saw. I'm gonna try to do this all in one take, okay? So, first off, I'd like to say thank you for tuning in to the first episode of 8-Minute Indie Game Analysis Time, or EMIGAT for short. Crap. One take, you know? I can't exactly edit it out, but anyway, this is gonna be an ongoing series where I just give my analysis of indie games. That's all I wanted to say. Bye.